No spacecraft is ever launched at random, be it a vehicle that flies to the International Space Station or a probe flying far away. It was exponentially more true for Voyager, the iconic spacecraft that already left the solar system. In 1986, it completed a flyby near Uranus. By 1989, it reached Neptune. So it made the incredible 1.6 billion kilometers in just 3 years because it used the special alignment of planets using the giant's gravitational assist. And here we are in the final planetary destination of our solar system. Welcome to Neptune, a beautiful deep blue world, which is hostile as hell. Neptune is the only planet as of now that was discovered by means of mathematics. Uranus was stumbled upon by chance. Neptune, in its turn, is a triumph of human logic. Scientists noticed that Uranus refused to follow the path predicted by Isaac Newton's laws of gravity. Something was dragging and pulling the planet. So they assumed there has to be some other celestial body to do this. So Urbain de Verrier, a French astronomer, calculated Neptune's location by pure equations. At the same time, John Couch Adams did the same. But Verrier was the first who sent his coordinates to the Berlin Observatory, and when Johann Gottfried Galle looked in the telescope, he saw Neptune just 1 degree away from the place where Verrier. There was an international diplomatic scandal because the English claimed their priority for their astronomer. But Neptune orbited the Sun only once since then, because Neptune's orbit takes almost 165 years. Despite its orbit being quite slow, its rotation in comparison with its size, it's crazy. One Neptunian day is just 16 hours. So no wonder there are insane storms in the upper layers of its deep blue atmosphere. Yes, we've talked about supersonic winds and storms with all the gas and ice giants, but in Neptune's case, these winds are nearly twice the speed of sound, that is, over 2,000 kilometers per hour. How do these storms emerge if Neptune hardly receives any heat from the Sun? If Uranus' core was nearly dead, Neptune's is really alive. It glows and generates much more heat than it can receive from our star. Because our star from here looks nothing more than a bright dot. When Voyager spacecraft flew past Neptune, it photographed an anticyclonic storm, which scientists first called large dark spot. It is kind of a relative of Jupiter's red spot, but they are different. Because while Jupiter's storm has been raging for over 300 years, Neptune's doesn't stay in one region. When the Hubble telescope a few years later wanted to take a picture of this dark spot, it was not there anymore. However, the vortex reappeared elsewhere on the planet. This is far from being the only anomaly on Neptune. Verrier also took pictures of a bunch of clouds, which scientists later called scooter, because it circled the planet faster than its atmosphere. Neptune is also a perfect diamond mine. Atmospheric pressure compresses methane. It is reconstructed to carbon crystals, that is, diamonds. Neptune has a water ocean, thousands of degrees Celsius hot. And you may ask, how can water stay liquid once it is so hot, when on Earth it boils at 100 degrees? Well, Earth's thin atmosphere and comparatively weak pressure allows water molecules escape. Under Neptune's weight and intense pressure, water has no chance to evaporate, so it stays liquid. And underneath this hot ocean, there is again the so-called Superionic ice. Oxygen molecules freeze into a crystal grid, while hydrogen protons and ions swarm through it like superfluid currents. It means that this matter is neither solid nor liquid, just as we discussed with Uranus, that this matter has no chance to exist on Earth. This is a super electrical conductor and also generates magnetosphere. Neptune's magnetosphere is not located in its core. It is 1,500 kilometers away. Plus, it is not aligned with the planet's rotation. It is tilted at 47 degrees. So Neptune's magnetosphere wobbles. We recognize 16 satellites, 16 moons of Neptune at the moment. The most significant is Triton. It doesn't move in accordance with Neptune's rotation. It completes a so-called retrograde motion. Astronomers suppose that this moon was not created here, but came from the Kuiper Belt. Neptune's gravity, however, captured it and made it its moon. Triton's surface temperature is minus 235 degrees Celsius. Nevertheless, its surface is really active. Voyager saw geysers blast liquid nitrogen and dark dust 8 kilometers into space. But just like Mars' Phobos, Neptune's Triton is also doomed. It completes retrograde motion, so Neptune's tidal forces pull it closer and closer. Comes the day when it will cross the rush limit. Neptune will tear it into pieces and the moon will form a ring. Neptune already has 5 rings. Astronomers were not even sure that those were rings because from Earth they looked like broken arches. Voyager, however, confirmed that those were complete rings, but debris is not equal in that, which is due to Galatea moon's gravity. When Neptune was discovered, we obviously had no idea about its physical qualities. Still, it was named after the god of the seas, Neptune. And only later we found out there were oceans and storms. So, dear skeptics, mythological archetypes came before scientific facts. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Its high octave indicates unconditional love, unity between souls, transcendence, and deep spirituality. On low level, however, it implies addictions, escapism, illusions, and delusions. Unfortunately, the latter can be used by globalists. It is convenient for people to escape reality in social media by wearing VR headsets, so we're not far away from what we have seen in Matrix. Neptune has a solid core, so it's very important for us to stay grounded as well. Manipulators preach that everyone is equal. No, we are very unique and different. So we cannot be placed in a mess and let them stay more equal. A well-positioned Neptune in a birth chart may indicate artistic talents and clear visions. If it's in exile or has heavy aspects, it can indicate addictions and even mental issues. If it's prominent, that is, forms a conjunction with the Sun or Ascendant, it may show even prophetic vision. But it's not what we see in the level of everydays. Most people with Sun Neptune are either unhealthily religious or are addicted to alcohol or drugs or spend their lives in other illusions, dependencies in relationships. In old age, it can be the sign of dementia. Neptune's orbit is 165 years, so it cannot be treated as a personal planet, more like a generational planet. And in whichever house is situated in your chart, it means that you have to complete a dimensional shift instead of pulling down Neptune into the level of everydays. Because on the level of everydays, Neptune does not behave positively. It can bring even phobias. In my case, Neptune is in the middle of my 6th house, in Saturn sextile and a spiritual aspect with Mercury. So, the universe designed me for synthesis, for scientific analytical precision and mysticism. How do you think what a home planet looks like from this far? Subscribe to the channel and you'll find out in the next video.